stand tall. Words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Diving deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Diving deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Diving deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Diving deep and search for more. creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the fierce debates. We explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance in this arena.
What is going on, Everett? Oh, hang on one second, guys. All right, sorry about that, guys. What is going on, Everett? Back at another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan HQ Network. I am the host, the Spartan, aka Peter. Sorry about the little delay. I was finishing last details for the show in the background, so I had to buy myself some time. But tonight we are talking about a topic I think we have to talk about, and we have talked about a little bit in the past. Is will AI replace most jobs? The future of work. Unfortunately, I will say yes to that answer because we're already seeing the new dawn of AI coming. But before we get into it deeply, Greg is in the chat saying, please hit the like instead and subscribe button. Please do. It will help us out. And best, guess what? It's free. Come on, you have to. And he replies, sorry, bro, I have to work in the morning. Hey, don't worry about it, dude. Obviously, work comes work. And I just got off work. I'm still working. But seriously, I do feel AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. I'm hoping Paul is able to jump in at some point tonight because I know he's traveling for work. And he told me he's going to try to jump in because he has a lot of information on this. And I like it. He's this expert opinion on this. But I do feel a lot of jobs we're already seeing the beginning of AI replacing jobs. A lot of warehouses are AI driven. Like their warehouses, like they have little Android robots moving around. You see at supermarkets, you have I call them Bob, the little Bob things that clean the floors, or if somebody drops and make a mess. But before I really get into this, I gotta bring this guy in. He loves baby oil. He brought it with him at Planet Vegeta. He still doesn't know what that is. So let's bring him in. My baby oil brother, what is going on?
What's going on, Peter?
Nothing much, man. So, what do you think about this, bro, man?
Ironically, I remember talking about this with Tarus sometime back on his show about AI. I'm glad we're doing this because it's important for people to realize the significance. AI is replacing a lot of entry-level jobs that people don't realize.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They're starting to replace like call centers, mainly like call centers and a couple other places here and there, researchers, things like that. Because now, a lot of college grads, when they needed a job or they wanted to get into some areas of the corporate world, where's often the first place they'll go? The mailroom. They'll work in like the mailroom, sorting out the mail that's going to all the higher ups in the building. No one uses physical mail anymore.
Emails.
Yeah. That's when
And when they do use physical mail, I know a machine. This has been going on for a while now. That it spits them out and it sorts them into the small cubbies,
right,
and they pass them out.
right. That's one example. Another example, call centers. Whether it was for, say, the phone company as an operator, um, say you're working for a major retailer like Sears, Sears Merchandise, A&S, all the major Lord and Taylor. Like if they want people to come and if they were interested in purchasing items or if people were calling in to order items, they spoke to someone at a call center for that. Those jobs are being eliminated.
I didn't know that part either.
Yeah. A lot of areas that will always start off as an entry job, like if you needed your foot in the door in certain areas, whether it was in the business world or whether it was in marketing, a lot of those jobs are being eliminated. So it's like, well, if you want to work this, you got to get your foot in the door. But all the positions that were initial entries, they're being replaced by AI. So now those positions that help you get into a certain industry that you wanted to be a part of, it makes it a lot more difficult for people.
I think my field is one of the few fields that I don't have to worry about AI right now,
Exactly.
except fast food.
Definitely.
Yeah, fast food is already getting barring with AI right and left. Definitely the cashier side of it, because I see a lot of like McDonald's have the kiosk now,
Yep.
and versus the physical person. Like let's say if it was you, for example,
Yeah.
when I come up to you and like, "Welcome to McDonald's, how can I take your order?" Or my favorite, like, "Welcome to Good Burger, how can I take your order?"
Welcome to
But
Good Burger, home to Good Burger. Yeah, I know.
yeah, so that's eliminated very, very slowly.
Yeah.
And that is a scary thought. Like the work job market is going to struggle. And your most of experience is in warehouses, correct?
Yeah.
So what does that mean for you as a person who's in warehouses?
Well, when I was at FedEx, I was a hazardous material specialist. I had to be responsible for the documentation of any packages that were coming through, whether it was couriers bringing them in from the customers or customers arriving to the location. My job was to make sure that all paperwork was documented, everything was typed. I had numerous copies, and at the same time, anything and everything that was written on the shipper's declaration was in accordance to standard from IATA. And for those who don't know, IATA is the International Airline Transport Association. They're the governing body for aircraft travel for both
Okay.
shipping and people.
Hmm.
Even though my dad owned a travel, and even at the time, my dad owned a travel agency.
I remember you mentioned this before.
Yeah, and ironically, he needed in his business, and even everyone that worked at the business, such as my father, my mother, myself, my brother, my sister, and one of my cousins, and actually two of my cousins, we all had official IATA ID numbers. And at the same time, we had to keep an IATA manual. And at the same time, we needed to keep an IATA manual inside the business. And we never handled dangerous goods, but what we had to keep one by law. You know? And the thing is also, recognizing some faces here and everything else. What's going on, old man? Thanks you for swinging by.
Ben, I email you the link. If you'd like to join us, go ahead, man. You're welcome to come on. You're always welcome here. You always have a seat on my table.
Exactly. And that's basically what my job is.
Mhm.
My job was to make sure everything was according to standard, everything was accurate, everything was correct.
For in other words, follow the standard of the laws, pretty much.
Yep.
For simple
Because
terms. And
yeah.
that is the issue. Like even with my kind of job, it's like you have to document a lot of things, like how
Right.
long shelf life is for X, Y, and Z. Like usually the rule of thumb is 3 days most times. Not all products, but that's
Right.
more in the healthcare part of it, but
Right.
more into the restaurant cafeteria style life is
Right.
a whole different world now. But let's say let's use healthcare for example. It's like when my trades, aka servers who go to the room, they have a tablet, a iPad usually.
Right.
Um, some hospitals use me other ones, but 99.9% is iPads. All
Yeah.
right.
A lot of
Because
industries use Apple. A lot of Apple tech.
it's
So I'm
cheap.
not surprised.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Cheap and smooth. That's all it is.
Yep.
It is what is funny about that is they will use iPhones and iPads, but they will not use a Mac in their systems because
Exactly.
it doesn't what was the word I'm looking for? Talk to the network really well.
It's not user friendly, and it's always issues with the software because ironically, a lot of companies like I said at FedEx, all the pilots had company issued iPhones, and those in management too. Well, the majority of management, I should say, all had company issued iPhones, and all the pilots, all the flight crew, and even aircraft maintenance used iPads when they had to do their paperwork, and when they had to do the paperwork, when they had to do the pre-flight check, when they had to do any type of documenting discrepancies, they all used iPads.
Here's a
But
comment
ironically,
from our old man here. From Greg. I'm sorry. Or UK knucklehead. People have become more lazy because of AI. From AI, the more AI comes in, more in there, more people get lazier. That is weird how he put it. Am I having a hard time? Or was it me?
no. I see what he's getting. He's saying the
Yeah.
more you start to see AI being used, the lazier people are getting. And I
And
see
he
his
goes,
point.
and he follows up. I never use AI.
That
That
crap
crap.
scares him.
I do use AI. I'll be very, very blunt with you guys. A lot of stuff with our network. The thumbnail today you saw was from GPT.
Mm-hmm.
I do use it. I have a Samsung 26 Ultra. There's a lot of AI in it.
Yeah.
And you don't realize.
Uh-oh. Give him a few seconds, people. Give him a second. 3, 2, 1. And he's not back yet. I'll pick up what he's saying. All right,
Sorry
sit
about
back.
that. So my computer's acting stupid tonight. So a lot of things you're using on everyday life. For example, Facebook. How many times you did a Google search on something? Let's say, I'm trying to think of something like off my head right now.
Group search you're talking about?
Yeah, like let's say you something on Amazon, whatever. You did something. Let's say tools. For example, you type in Google tools and gives you all this category. Then you don't look in. Then you go on your regular stuff and you start looking at your on your Facebook. All of a sudden, all these tool advertisements come up.
Yep.
That's an AI driven tool in your phone or your PC.
Yeah. Or your tablet as well. Really?
I don't think so. I think this is going to be up your alley. But hey, that's my opinion. But so I was saying at the hospital, or the nursing homes, they go to the good nursing homes. Not some of them just still do the old paper style, but let's say they're up to date. So
Right.
someone goes in your room and takes your order, right? Whoever you are, right? And they say, okay, it's time to order your lunch. You give your little speech or whatever, right? Because you have to learn a little speech. You say your name. So you ask them for their name, their their social and birthday and all that stuff. I don't remember their social, but their birthday and first and last name has to be matched into the system.
Right.
So when they put their stuff in, you type in, okay, what would you like, Mr. Anton? Eggs, blah blah blah. You type it. It will tell you when it goes over calorie count or over sodium, over sugar, whatever the kind of diet they're on, because there's so many different diets out there.
Right.
So if it goes over that number, it flags you. It goes, nope, you cannot have that. You have to take something off.
Right.
Or cut back. Let's say getting a full portion of eggs, you want
get a half portion
only. I'm sorry?
A quarter or a half portion.
Yeah, because the macros. So that's where AI comes in
Right.
versus the paper form. The dietitian has to go over one by one by one by one by one
Yeah.
by one.
Exactly.
So that is the other thing. You know what I'm saying? That so AI is really huge impact in the hospitals already.
No, I see. I saw what Craig posted, and I understand why he doesn't like. Some people don't like it, and they feel very uncomfortable with it, and that's totally understandable. I get that, but I definitely agree on what you said about Facebook. I remember a couple years back, one of my former coworkers gave me a link to this one blog I want to check out. It's called The Art of Manliness. All right, I checked it out. I'm scrolling through. I downloaded the app.
Mhm.
I'm scrolling through. I'm looking at some of the podcasts and everything else, too. And then I saw one that caught my interest. It was on Everyday Carry, or EDC. All right. I tapped on it, read the article, read the story, listened to the podcast. It was very creative, very interesting. I was like, you know what? This sounds pretty interesting. I Googled Everyday Carry. What's it all about? I read it. I looked through it, so on and so forth. And I was like, okay, this looks pretty interesting. Next year, all of a sudden, I go on my Facebook page. On the side of my Facebook feed, like all my feeds of people I follow, people, groups, so on and so forth. On the other side, items associated with Everyday Carry. Wallets, keys, books, bags. And I was like, okay, now I see. And at first, it didn't dawn on me when I was scrolling through. So I was like, I'll click on it. Next, all of a sudden, I'm looking at all the stuff that caught my eye. It linked me up not only with certain companies that make these products, it even linked me to certain content creators here on YouTube that talk about Everyday Carry as well, and some of the products that they will use and test it out. And sometimes we just go along with it and don't even realize we're going along with it.
And that's what it is. A lot of this stuff, and like people when they hear AI, their minds go to the fucking sci-fi going crazy. Is Judgment Day? What was that? AI Skynet. They're
Yeah,
thinking of Skynet, and it is a company called Skynet out there, by the way. If anybody's curious,
really.
yeah, I'm not sure what they exactly do, but all right, Greg, have a good
All
night,
right,
man.
Craig, have a good one.
Yeah, so it is a lot of so people think of that. I'm not saying it's not going to happen one day or it won't happen. I'm not saying none of that because I don't know what the future holds up for us.
Yeah, I try not to think about it.
I don't think about it, to be honest with you.
Say again?
I don't think about it.
Okay.
I think about it during the conversations we're having.
Right. Definitely.
But on a daily basis, I don't because I got freaking 100 people to cook for. You think that's the last thing I'm going to worry about?
Please. Ironically, what I was saying at my job, one of the things that they included for us was an iPad to do the inspection. Now, ironically, have you ever seen an IATA manual? The best way I can describe it is a phone book. But unfortunately, you got people under the age of 30 who don't know what a phone book looks like.
I don't think my kids know what a phone book is.
Yeah, exactly. But we have to get a new copy every year for the calendar year. So what I found out is we were allowed to request a company designed iPad. Had the software, had the information, that everything that I had to do on a computer, at a desktop, I can do with the customer while I do the inspection. So it cut my time in half to where as soon as I got a package that came in, I could do the inspection I could enter the information at the same time I'm doing the inspection. So that saves me, I lose a good 20 minutes right there. So as soon as I look at the package, I'm looking at it. I'm making sure everything's good. I'm looking at the paperwork. I'm pulling up the information on the tablet. Everything matches up. At the same time, I'm looking up this information. I'm doing my inspection at the same time. So I'm typing things in onto my iPad. type of things, saving the information, so on and so forth. Basically processing it at the same time I get the package from the customer. At times, I had to put it to the side. I had some other responsibilities I had to take care of. 5 o'clock, I'm basically working all dangerous goods packages coming through that has to be documented, inspected, and then get ready to move to the airport. And there are times when I'll look at it, I'll do the inspections at the same time, have all the information saved up on the iPad. Go back to what I'm doing. Take my break. I come back. Whatever I had to get done was already done. Now I'm waiting on the stuff coming
It's
from.
funny you said this. So when I get inspected through the DOH, so we don't get inspected through DOH because we're a private facility. Nobody can
Right.
just walk in.
Right.
All right. So our DOH is a little more strict. All right.
Okay.
So we have a third party. Third party comes in. All right. It's usually twice a year, every 6 months. But we learned our lesson recently. Like they can come up anytime now. They don't have to give us 6 months.
Oh wow.
That's a new rule that the companies are doing with each other. There are two companies who make an agreement. We respect your company. This is what we pay you, and vice versa, right?
Right.
I don't know the neat and greeny. That's way above my grade grade.
Gotcha.
But he has a tablet on him,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a thermometer, and a digital thermometer, and he probe every little fucking thing. And some things I'm like, I'm working on something. Like, oh, it's out of temp. I'm like, dude, I'm working with it. I'm gonna cook it. That's why it's out of temp, because I'm cutting the fucking meat. Dumb fucker, asshole. Sometimes. Because they don't make no sense, some things they're asking for. But these guys are more stricter. So
Right.
we now, as the cooks, we have to temperature our food every 3 hours.
Okay.
All right. So now we used to be the old thermometers. Some are, come out one of those or one
Right.
of those. Those are eliminated now. They are actually Samsung tablets, and they're probes. That is thermometer, and you pair them up. They're always paired to the same line. You turn one on and turn the other one, and you go into the app and you hit on, hit the thermometer on.
So they pair via Bluetooth and everything.
It kind of is already paired to that tablet. You cannot, like, it says if my tablet says grill and I take delis, they won't talk to each other. I gotta repair them up. But once I turn them on, they pick up. It's like a headphones thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So we'll read. Now, if it's out of zone, what is called the danger zone, up or low, it will flag me. So sometimes you just didn't hit it right, or you hit the grill or something. It might read a wrong temperature or whatever the case is. So if you did do that, it's retemp, and you are allowed to retemp a couple times.
Okay.
Or correction action, whatever correction. Like if it's like, for example, if it's really too high, cool it down, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
If it's under temp, obviously reheat it. You know what I'm saying? If you can't do that, if you caught it on time, because you only have like a very small window to do that.
Gotcha.
So it does all the stupid work. Back in the day, I remember taking my thermometer, plug it in, wipe, plug, wipe, plug, wipe, plug, wipe, and handwriting it. Got rid of all that stuff. We got rid of all that stuff. So AI is already in the cooking field, obviously.
Okay.
That's an AI program. Think about it.
Yeah, it's in shipping. It's in shipping as well, because a lot of the new technology that I remember that we were using before I left the company, a lot of the stuff that we was like, it made it a lot easier. Everything we scanned was real time. And the thing most people don't realize, a lot of the stuff that we were using, none of it was Mac. All software was, I think, Windows or Chrome.
I see Windows a lot.
Mostly Windows.
Windows always been a very popular program. But if you really think about it, do you use Uber Eats at all? Or
yes, I do. I've actually driven for Uber Eats as well.
I did a little bit, but I did DoorDash, and I DoorDash. Uber.
I've done that too.
I felt Uber, it was more convenient for my type of car I have, because with Uber Eats, I feel like if you're going to get out of the car, you lock it and let the car run, because start go, you just killing your gas like that.
Right.
My car doesn't have that feature because I have more modern, updated car. It's a 2023.
Okay.
The new ones don't do that yet because it's all keyless. So I
Yeah.
grab the door and it unlocks for me because I have the
Right.
key in my pocket.
Right.
Anyway, so if you think about it, these guys don't have a person in another screen or on a computer. Okay, Mr. Little Rich has ordered two sausage egg cheese on a garlic bagel. Is going to Anton's Deli, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's AI. So
Yeah.
once you hit order, it goes right in there. Whoever thought about these AI stuff, they're door order delivery services. They made a fucking a killing off this money.
Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub,
Hmm.
Postmates before they were acquired. Postmates before they were acquired by Uber.
I didn't know there was another company.
Yeah, there was a
I only
company
know
called
those three.
It was one company called Postmates. They were acquired by Uber,
Mhm.
by Uber Eats. You also have Instacart. If you want to, if you need someone to do,
I use Instacart all the time.
yeah, grocery shopping. Yeah, I have an Instacart account. Surprisingly, I still have an Instacart. I have Grubhub. I have DoorDash, and Uber Eats. I really don't even use, but most of the time I'm using those. And also the one company I'm currently working for, Slice. And what that app it does is it links individuals to local pizzerias in their area. So if you want pizza or any type of meal or particular meal, and you don't want to go through the big name chains and everything else, you want a local spot. That's the one app that I first heard about. I heard about it in a commercial. I looked it up. I looked into it when I signed up, and it has names of only local pizzerias. I've found at least 3 or 4 of them in my area where I live. There's just one in the area that I particularly use, but it's linked to not just those other pizzerias in the area, but if you give a zip code, it's going to link you to any spot that they're partnered with anywhere in the country.
So I have a little experience with the cooking side of Uber, Eats, and DoorDash, all those companies. So I got hooked up with one of my guys at church. He goes to me, "Listen, you should check out this place. They're looking for somebody to help them out, as a contract kind of thing." I'm like, I help them out. Do this after work, whatever, because I was
Right.
working different hours at the time. I was working AM.
Right.
Yeah, being a morning person, not a pretty sight, but
I
and thanks to
used to work overnight. So
somebody
trust me.
out there, I wouldn't call him Mrs. Spartan right now. Get maybe a morning person or fucking someone.
I used to work. Listen, I worked overnights for 24 years. So believe me, I'm not much of a morning person either. But believe
Now
me,
I became a morning person the last year because somebody, make me a morning person.
you know what?
But
Also
anyways,
continue, go.
So I'm observing my first day there, and before we talk numbers and stuff like that, they couldn't fucking afford me, number one, because
Right.
there were so many health violations.
Ooh.
I wouldn't touch that for a pole nowhere near that. So how it works, you have a little tablet. You go boing, 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 boing. You hit okay. But when they send the order, you have no choice to accept their order, except your clothes.
Yeah.
It prints the order out in a little sticker.
Mm-hmm.
You make the order. You put the sticker on the bag and sealed.
Yep.
Because they started doing that recently because people were like,
Yeah.
even with food. So
Yeah.
the bag is sealed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the driver comes in, asks for the order. I'm here to pick up for Anton. I'm like, okay, here you go. You hit okay on your side. It's okay.
You have to verify the order number 2.
Yeah.
And that's
I
about
don't know
it.
about the order number. That part, I don't know that part, to be honest.
Yeah, they have to verify it. And like I said, I've done DoorDash, I've done Grubhub and Uber Eats. And the one thing that I remember, and I've always made sure of this, verify the order. And what's going to happen is it's going to come up on your phone or your tablet, the information for that person that's ordering.
Mm-hmm.
And that number, the order number that you see on your tablet or phone, has to match the order number of the bag you're getting.
Okay, then I'm not going to push
that.
back.
The name.
I haven't worked on that part of it as much like you have.
Right.
So the little bit time I did the Uber Eats, you saw the name,
Mm-hmm.
took the food, and I left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's OA driven, OAI. If
Yeah.
anything, with the GPS tracks you,
Yep.
and
And the
you get
customer can track you as well.
yeah, and you get a little text message like your dasher is on the way here or will be
Yep.
right there or something like that.
Yep.
And that's how you know you get to the door time. Put the dog away. Whatever you have to do, get the. I have a pin on mine because I cannot fucking stand when people just leave the food and bounce.
Oh yeah,
Because,
and people don't realize you can make that option. Excuse me.
yeah,
You can set the option to where I leave it at my door or ring my doorbell and hand it to me.
yeah, it's
I
handed
always-
or what is that word I'm looking for? You don't want no contact. I think it's
Yeah,
called.
That's why. Yeah, that's what some people go no contact. Ever since COVID, a lot of people have gone no contact.
Yeah.
So and that's
The thing I don't
understand-
like about that because I live in an apartment complex, and many times my food got delivered in the wrong door.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So that's like I see them on a GPS. They're driving around my community. They're on the other part. Like I text them like you're going the wrong way.
Yeah.
I have any specific instructions, but I don't. Who reads the instructions in the little?
You'd be
little
surprised who doesn't, but you'd be surprised who does too.
Yeah.
I mean, like apartment complexes, housing communities, college campuses, especially when you go to the dorms, military bases, especially especially if you go into the barracks. But it varies by military base because some bases will let the drivers come on base to go to the barracks to drop them off. Other times, they'll have a designated location near the gate,
Really?
and that person has to come to the gate to pick it up. Same thing for Uber and Lyft for pickups and drop-offs. If you have to drop off someone onto a military installation, now you can't even get onto the base. All they can do is drop them off by the gate, or if they come in, there's a designated area, say at the welcome center, for the pickup and drop off, and that's it. It varies by different installations. Each base has their own SOP when it comes to
assuming now is because of security clearance, correct?
definitely because definitely security clearance.
I found an exception I see to that rule if you're like yourself, who has been prior military. You may be say, "Hey, I'm a mood driver, but I'm also a retired veteran. Here's my military card." Or
But
military ID.
what also it is, like most gate guards, when you come on the base, they'll take your driver's license and they'll scan it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing people forget. A lot of driver's licenses now all have barcodes on the back.
True.
So all they have to do is scan it, and all the person's information will come up. Me, because like you said, I'm a veteran, it already has the designation on the front of my license. They'll still scan it anyway because of SOP. And 99% of the time, I'm able to get on onto a base.
I remember your
vary.
last story. About 2015 was it?
Mm-hmm.
No, even further back, I think. Whatever it was, I was in DC. All right,
Okay.
visiting and everything. It was like a weekend, kind of like a getaway, whatever. Right?
Right.
I got lost. GPS wasn't the greatest back then.
Oh yeah.
So I saw a Marine base over there. I thought, hey, let me ask the Marine guys.
You went to Quantico
It might be.
in Virginia, or what? You said you were in DC.
It was in the DMV area. I don't remember I was in DC. Because after that, I saw the big Marine statue right there. So
The flag. The flag planting of Iwo Jima.
yeah, the huge one, like it's size of the fucking planet. I
Yeah,
thought,
I've
like,
seen the statue.
Oh,
It's-
motherfucking big.
Yeah, it's a big statue. That's the
Beautiful,
planting of the
too.
flag of Iwo Jima
Yeah.
on top of Mount Suribachi. That's the thing.
Yeah.
People know the island name, but they never know the name of the mountain.
Yeah. So as I'm walking over there, next thing I know, I'm like, you go. I'm like, whoa, friendly American, dude, God, chill the fuck out. So I go, like, I'm just lost. I want fucking directions. Don't kill the Greek. I might be Greek, but I'm American. I'm like, listen. I'm wearing a shirt and everything. Like,
Yeah.
see, American products. I'm like, America. I'm America. Like they're looking at me like I'm fucking on drugs or something.
I probably would have said, "Put them fucking weapons down, jarheads."
Yeah, I didn't go that far. I went like,
no, I can say that.
wait, I wouldn't be. I actually went further than that, actually. So I'm gonna. Here's my ID. All right, and like you go here, numbnuts. Here, numbnuts. Who the fuck are you talking to? Like, I'm your tax-paying motherfucker. You're gonna put your fucking gun down. I'm gonna shove up your fucking ass. So the other guy realized, saw my tattoo. Goes, "You're martial artist." I went like, "Yeah." And now I'm fucking pissed. I got a fucking M16 up my fucking nose. He goes, "Oh, let me put it away." But let's get this guy in here really fast. So let's get Jay in here.
What's good, Jay?
Jay, what's up, my man? You're muted, bud.
Oh, sorry about that. How you guys doing?
What's
Good.
Jay?
It's been a crazy week. Oh, the freaking heavens. Oh, freak God, man.
And it's only Tuesday, brother.
Tuesday, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta trust me. I got. Let's just say Thursday. I need things to go right the way it needs to be, so that I can maintain what I gotta maintain, but also the new chapter. So make sure I do it. Take care of what I gotta take care of. But I do want to. But I won't be on for too long. A little bit because this is a new phone I'm on, y'all. I got a Samsung 26 Plus from AT&T because I work there. I know that. So they updated me.
Welcome to the family.
And then they got me on a new plan that's easier, cheaper, and also better quality. So that's good. I don't have to pay too much, over $100 or something. So that's a good thing. Just set up the new internet for my pops just now. He shouldn't have any buffering watching on those Fire Sticks now, so he should be fine. But it's coming. But remember, it's coming. Remember, it's coming out of my card. So you do that for mom and dad. I don't do that for nobody else.
No,
maybe my brother, if like my younger brother. Other brothers, we too old. We don't need each other so like that. But
see, if you were Verizon, I would go up here. I was like, "Yo, dude, you gotta hook up a brother out, man. You gotta hook me up with a little discount or something."
Hey, listen, I got Verizon.
Hey, man, good deals. I don't like AT&T has some good deals for internet and also for phones, particularly.
Bro, I'm telling you, AT&T in my area does not work at all.
Wait, where are you at?
I'm in Stroudsburg, in PA.
You're in PA. You got fiber where you at?
No.
That's why.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, everybody, the two providers people are using now in this area is T-Mobile, and I'm surprised, and it works pretty decent. And Verizon is number one. Everybody's usually with Verizon because it works the greatest.
I got Verizon after 20 plus years. I think I had Sprint for 23 years before they were acquired by T-Mobile.
Oh, okay.
And then once T-Mobile, like I was still under the Sprint plan, and I was looking at going to the T-Mobile plan because it was a little bit better. They wouldn't let me do it, so I was like, you know what, I'm done. So I ended things with T-Mobile, and I really didn't like dealing with T-Mobile anyway because I was okay with Sprint for the last 20 plus years. They took care of me. Moved everything to Verizon, moved my number and my wife's number to Verizon, and we've had them for the last couple of years, and I've had no issues with them.
No, I understand. For me, yeah. For me, it was just about like just updating the phone and things like that, which I really care personally because I like smaller phones in general. But it's all about what plan is like you can afford and what's cheap every day. I mean, would you rather be spending $50 or $60 in your pocket as opposed to $100 and some shit? And like I said, I'm only running two lines, which is me and my mom's. My father's with AT&T, which is why he couldn't get upgraded. It's because that's how we do things. You had to be either Verizon, T-Mobile, Mint, any of these other programs for that we can switch you on the plan. If you're at AT&T, we can't upgrade you. You have to go to a store for that.
Yeah,
that's how they do it. Now that I knew all that, it makes everything so much easier to understand. That's why I said working some of these jobs get you better intellect and also better understanding that what helps you. That's why I said even if you don't stay there long, I tell people, I say you know how much knowledge you walked away without knowing what to spend money on and what not to spend money on. It just helps you out. It just helps your ass out now.
And I think the one good thing I will give T-Mobile credit for is they don't partner with third-party stores. Because I ran into a real bad situation with Sprint, and this is right around the time when T-Mobile already acquired them, and everything under Sprint was officially going over to T-Mobile. And I had a really bad situation where there's one third-party store that helped me, that got me my phone, my wife's phone at one time. Like even before everything was official, they already shut down. Then I found I'm sending all these ridiculous charges on my account. I go to this one Sprint store, actually that used to be a Radio Shack. That tells you how old I am.
Damn, Radio Shack. Damn.
Yeah, because Radio Shack at the time, before they went under, partnered with Sprint.
Yeah, I remember that.
And what happened was...
Damn, I feel old. I'm 35 years old, y'all.
Bro, I'll be 50 next week, all right?
Radio Shack.
When you get to where I'm at, believe me.
Anytime. Stop lying. You're 70.
No, 50.
70.
He was the age of my pops. That's crazy. But he like Steve Harvey.
Oh, shit. He's right.
I'm sorry, Antoine. I'm just saying, like, bro, I just realized you look, without glasses, you look like Steve Harvey. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
No, it's okay.
You got the mustache, man.
No, it's just okay because all my coworkers, my friends and my coworkers at my old job, they love teasing me and calling me Steve Harvey. That's why.
Hey, man, who's the first person I thought of that you actually look like? And I'm like, no, you look Steve Harvey, bro.
I'm used to it, so it's no big deal.
Or at least his cousin. I'll say that, man. Maybe get some money from being part family. I don't know. He sent you like two.
You don't know
he sent you 65,000, bro. He couldn't give you $1 million, but he gave you 65,000. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
So there's a question in the chat. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you can answer anything.
Oh no, I can't see what was the question.
I'm gonna just say right now. The rumor is the push for electric cars is so they can turn your car off during another pandemic.
Wow. Global catastrophe, apocalypse, etc. Wow,
Pat. I want to answer that.
I think that's a bogus rumor, to be honest.
Ironically,
first of all, it's a rumor, and it's like a forum rumor. I don't know if you guys have been on forums in a while, but that's like really. Basically Reddit. I'll just say Reddit. That's one of the things that I see coming Reddit. Like they'll put chips in these cars, like they did in Fast and the Furious movie 8, where that chick controlled all the cars in New York and just had them like nah. It's not like that. They're thinking of like worldwide global distribution is what you're thinking of when it comes to that. Which every country and every country would profit from that in damages. Because if it comes from Monte Carlo, who's going to put up the money to fix off Monte Carlo? Monte Carlo's going to pull up the money for that because the products failed on you. If America produced that, America's going to have to pony up billions, not hundreds of millions, billions.
The only thing about that, Pat, what I hear what you're saying. I know a lot of the newer cars have a setup like that. And what they do is it's set up for that. Like, say, if you fall behind on your car note, instead of now repossessing your car, they'll cut your car off. And your car will be one big old paperweight. Plain and simple. And the only way you're going to get that car turned back on is you got to contact the bank and work something out in order for them to turn it back on.
So it wasn't a rumor. It was official. And they fought this, actually. When OBC3 was coming out. OBC3 is the on-demand diagnosis program. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to go, and this benefit dealership, I heard small shops. So they would mail you a letter saying, hey, we have realized it's something wrong with your car. At this point, your car is out of warranty. Keep that in mind.
Right.
Now, I'm not going there. Fuck that shit. Too expensive, right?
Right.
Week 2 or a month, I'm not sure. I don't remember the timeline. They send you a letter again and a phone call saying, hey, your car is having issues with it. We recommend you bringing it in. Fuck that shit. The third attempt, they will again send you a letter, a phone call, and they will deactivate your vehicle. When the government found that out, I said, fuck you, you're not doing that shit. That's illegal. That's a manipulation at the time. And the reason they were trying to do that is it benefits the dealerships but it hurts the local shops. And to drive economy, you need the local shops to work, push, turn wrenches too. So, and this is interesting, and I want to backtrack to another comment earlier. It says California is going to be electric vehicles only state by law in 2035. I don't personally agree, and I don't disagree, because I do understand where they're working is because of the population and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I've never been to California.
I've been to California. I've been to LA. I've been to LA, and it's the thing people don't realize about Los Angeles. It's spread out, literally spread out. Yeah, people don't realize. LA.
Oh no, I know it's spread out.
Say again? Yeah, I'm talking about literally spread out. So for a long time, what they were doing in LA, especially like right after in the 40s and the 50s, especially after World War II, they were building freeways. They were building freeways to make it easier for people to get around.
I tell everybody, play that game Midnight Club 2, literally, and they have a whole map of the whole freaking LA. Yep. And when you drive, it's like I tell my friend actually did this. He drove around him. He realized when he played the game, this is exactly everything that's in LA is like right in this damn game. And it's like even that little downward little area where like the water runs underneath the bridges and things like that is there too.
Reservoir, the city reservoir, the 6th Street Bridge, downtown LA to the Staples Center, Chavez Ravine, on the San Gabriel Mountains in Pasadena, Westwood, Long Beach.
That's what it was.
You can tell I've been to LA. But yeah, you're right. Midnight Club 2, if you want to know what LA is like, play that game. You're right. And
you know what exactly LA is? Follow it to the T, bro. It's like too spot on, especially when it comes to the freeway and when it comes to the reservoir, all that, bro. I had 3 different buddies tell me, bro. It's like, bro, what the hell? When I don't know who was over there when they were making these games. Like they took pictures, it's like people who actually lived there put that together. Yeah, and it's just like in that same pathway that's in the game is in the freaking alley. So it's just like little. So LA. So LA is very spread out. Like it is very spread out.
I was going to go with this. His first comment is Tesla's cars are driving electric, and we know about the AI system. I know they were pushing really hard in LA. Their
LA was one place. I think Phoenix was another where Tesla was doing the driverless cars.
Driverless Tesla. I remember that. Yeah. They talked about I want to talk about it just real quick because I don't want to take the spotlight from any of you guys. But I remember watching a video about the Tesla. You know which ones we're all talking about. The ones where like they can have autopilot on it, and apparently that cost an extra. I don't know if it was how much it was, but there's the base where you drive it yourself manually, and then there's the autopilot, but they said they couldn't put it out on the market because it wasn't fully what was it? It wasn't completed.
Yeah, it wasn't fully, it wasn't capable.
It wasn't reliable. Reliable, that's the word. Not capable, reliable.
When Tesla first came out, you're right. It was not reliable. It was a shit show. The company.
Mm-hmm. I saw the videos, bro. I was in Tampa at this time, and they showed me that. With like the autopilot and things, and I'm like, bro. I'm good.
In today's world, in 2026, they're more reliable right now. They're very reliable.
They should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they keep getting updates. That's why one thing they say, if you have a Tesla, make sure you keep updating it to
exactly.
Just connected.
Spartan, when it first come out? When the first Tesla come out?
I'm not even
sure. No, I'm talking about like the new one where it was like clear, like 2020, 2021, 2019. Somewhere around
that time, between 2019 and 2021.
I see a lot in my area, those Tesla trucks. I see a lot of those.
I see the Tesla vans.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're called Tesla trucks.
Yeah, and the thing was, I remember a lot of companies like FedEx, UPS, were looking into purchasing them because those were like long haul trucks. Even some long haul companies were thinking about it, and these were like long haul sleeper cab designs to where these trucks can drive by themselves.
Yeah, I know Verizon.
Yo, can you guys send me a picture of that? What that looks like? I'm curious. You said they're like trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Amazon uses a lot of those trucks.
Yeah, because a lot of those trucks aren't used by fuel because some of them are hybrids.
Let me ask you a question.
Like,
Are they the bigger ones now I'm seeing? The new Amazon trucks that I'm seeing now?
Yes.
Or vans?
Yeah.
Those are
vans
gasoline?
are electric, and then you got some that are hybrids.
Yeah, the most of them are electric are those new ones now because they save so much money from the gas versus that because diesel's expensive as shit right now. It's
it is.
Yeah, but where I'm trying to get this with is, so Tesla about 2 or 3 years ago, I think it is, they came out with a new product called RoboCab, and I'm like, what the fuck is a RoboCab? It's pretty much a autonomous cab that drives you anywhere, and up to I think it was up to 4 people. I think the front seat are turned reverse, so you're facing that way versus the other way. Obviously, if you're driving that, it depends which way you're driving, of course. So, and that I liked the idea and I hated it. I tell you why I like the idea. And look, it sounds cool on paper. It really does.
Yeah.
And you're thinking something from the Demolition Man kind of thing. I'm thinking of
now. Yes.
But it also scares me because my father was a cab driver in New York City for years. Imagine the market, how bad that's going to go. Think about it for a minute.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
Yep. And I see a lot of the Cybertrucks too.
Yeah.
The pickups.
Yeah.
Those are around
those more and more. That's what the truck looks like, Jay.
I think he walked away for a minute.
Okay. But I'll keep it up there for a minute for him to look at.
I'll bring it back up when he comes back up.
Okay.
But those trucks, the technology is very advanced. Let's be honest here, Anton. Like, I was very nervous about a car driving me. I thought it was cool. Like I said, it was nerve-wracking. I see so many videos now that won't scare me anymore. The only thing I probably would say, I will not trust that damn thing around back roads.
Yeah.
They say it's better on highway than anything. That's what it's really meant for.
Yeah.
Like, if I was driving from here to Maryland, for example, it's a 3.5-hour drive.
Yeah.
I'll use autonomous. I'll go, boop. This is the life.
And the funny thing, most people don't realize, a lot of these ideas and concepts came from movies back in the day. Remember Total Recall?
Yeah, of course.
The original Total Recall.
Yeah, dude, of course.
Okay. The Johnny Cab.
You might be older, but you're not that old.
The Johnny Cab.
Yeah.
That's what people got the idea. That's I think how Tesla got the idea for
the Demolition Man, one and the other.
Oh yeah,
same process because they were literally talking and she's doing her makeup and the car is driving itself. iRobot was another one.
iRobot, oh yeah,
yeah. I think it was a combination of stuff.
Yeah. Ironically, the thing about Demolition Man, most people didn't realize. The reason why the studio partnered with GM, because they wanted to show concepts of what cars they may have coming out in the future. Remember, Demolition Man came out a little over 30 years ago?
1998, I think, was it?
No, earlier than that.
95?
I think 92. Right,
1992,
I think. 1992, 93.
Go, I'll look it up. Keep going.
All right, because what happened was GM came up, because the thing is, a lot of the cars that they were using were all GM cars, if you didn't notice.
93.
Chevy, 93. 30 years, well over 30 years ago. Think about it. Chevy, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac. That's all GM cars. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Everything was GM. And they came up with concepts of what cars may do sometime in the future. Probably they thought what happened with cars now. The autonomous driving. The part where Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone were in the squad cars for the SAPD. Remember?
Yeah.
Autonomous driving. When Stallone had the accident in front of the headquarters for the SAPD, he said he felt like he was in a cannoli. The safety foam. What came out of that design from the safety foam that we see now in cars? Side impact airbags.
Oh shit. Yeah. So fun fact, really fast before we move on with the conversation. There are actually an early production in Demolition Man 2. I think Demolition 1 was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I am nervous about that movie because they're going to destroy my childhood. I already know it.
I don't know how they're going to pull it off because, let's be honest, Sylvester Stallone just turned 80.
He still kicks ass, bro.
Yeah, I watch him in Tulsa King. I give him that. He still keeps himself in very good shape. I'll give him that. But he can't. Him still playing.
I don't think he's going to be as a action star. I think it's more like passing the torch kind of thing.
So you think he's going to be like he's finally going to be retiring from the SAPD? In other words,
I think he's going to be more like not like a retirement movie. I think it's more going to be like having somebody else under his wing teaching him stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we've seen other crazier shit in our life, bro.
That's true.
Stunt doubles and all that stuff.
Right.
AI. Come on now.
It's going to be interesting. But I think the one thing. But like I said, the thing about with Demolition Man, the movie, what's so cool about the movie, it gave us concepts. It showed us concept technology of what we might see now. Video calls. Remember the part when he's inside the apartment and he gets the phone call from the lady butt naked? Now you see that. Now you can get that on your cell phone or your tablet.
Listen, I'll be the first one. If I ever had to wear a helmet, do you have sex? I would be breaking the fucking law.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I would say I don't have to worry getting anybody pregnant or any of that shit. Yeah, okay.
Or STDs or any of that stuff. Wow, I've heard the same sense, but I took it to a whole new level.
I did.
Braxton, you have to check it out.
It's one of the best movies I thought in the 90s.
It's 90s. It's 90s action and humor. That's the best way I can describe it. But here's the one thing I'll say about the movie. What the hell do those 3 seashells do?
Nobody knows. I'm going to look it up.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, the island. I forgot about that. Thank you, Braxton. Wow. But like I was saying, it gave us an idea of what we may see, and not even realize it. I remember those AT&T commercials from the 90s. All the concepts you saw in those commercials, you're seeing it today. You don't even realize it. Like one of the things they said, how do you feel about paying your tolls without having to stop your car? That's Easy Pass. How would you feel if you get a chance to watch a movie whenever you want? That's video streaming. I mean, a lot of stuff that you heard about and you saw people working on, and they said this is going to be the way of the future, it's being done now, and most people don't even realize it.
You ready when you hear this?
I'm listening.
Okay, it says here, you hold the seashells like chopsticks to a magnify and it pulls the excess waste out of your ass.
Are you serious?
Yep, and it gets better, right? It goes, the third seashell is for scraping away the remaining results.
That's why they don't shake hands with each other. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Trust me.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, with Tesla conversation, I feel like the Tesla cars have come a long way. I think they can work now, finally. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of other companies that have automatic cars too. And Tesla's the popular one. But Tesla's not the best electric car. You know that, right, Anton?
There are a couple other companies that make electric cars better than Tesla. Most people don't even realize it.
Do you know what's the number one electric car last time I checked?
Oh, God.
You're gonna hear a name, so you're gonna say, "I am not surprised."
Hit it. I'm trying to remember.
Mercedes.
Not surprised at all.
Because my buddy CQ, his car got totaled. Right, he was in a market to get a new one. He ended up deciding not to get another car because one car was enough for his family. Because he
Right.
works from home, his wife works from home, so 2 cars was like kind of pointless.
Right.
Anyway, so he told me I fell in love with electric Mercedes. Sweet dude, how much? You don't want to ask. He goes, man. He goes, I'll put it this way: it's more than my mortgage, the monthly payment.
I could imagine.
And he has a pretty nice house, a pretty decent acre of property and everything in Maryland. So he goes, I can't put myself into a definite lease. He goes, there's no way. He goes, no way.
Really?
So that's why he didn't get it. But it had, this one blows my mind. I think Tesla's like 200 miles to a charge or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. That's over 500 miles to the charge.
That's why I'm not surprised, because Mercedes took time to do a lot of research and took the time to make sure that you can get your bank, that you will get as much as you can out of one simple charge. So that shows
it's a lot of that. That's why I said the electric cars are the future now. I don't see them going back. I do see that the California law being more in effect in a lot of more states. DMV is one of them areas, definitely in middle of DC. I don't know if you've been in DC, right, Anton?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to share with our audience, how bad is DC? Because I know how bad it is. I visited there once. I'm talking about the middle of DC, the heart of DC. I'm talking about.
You really want to talk about Southeast?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a New Yorker out in heart. I grew up in New York City. I grew up in Athens, but the traffic is crazy. You have to be crazy and
that
stupid.
Beltway traffic is wild, people.
I am crazy, but I'm not stupid at driving DC. I got an Uber, and that guy scared the fuck out of me.
You got caught up in that Beltway traffic, huh?
Dude, he was great. And the funny part, he worked for the Egyptian embassy.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh God, he must have been a guard. He must have been a security guard there.
I'm not sure what he did. I didn't ask him. I really don't remember, to be honest with you. But he was very friendly, really cool. But it was like vroom, 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 vroom. I'm like, dude, like, this is DC. Don't worry about it. I'm like, I don't have a will written out.
I avoid the Beltway traffic every time I've driven. I had to go through DC. Now, there are times I had to go down to Richmond. I remember driving down to Paris Island and down to Camp Lejeune. And every now and then I remember doing a drive down to Fort Bragg as well. I make sure to avoid Beltway traffic in every way, shape, and form. I always make sure to avoid Beltway traffic.
Bro, I have drove in Times Square when the traffic has been the worst.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking rush hour and middle of the worst, like in busy time, and that didn't scare me.
Yeah.
Even my girl has told me, you have patience when you drive in New York. You have to have patience in New York. No way around it.
You do. And I avoid driving into New York at all times. That's why I take the path. I'll take the path.
And
I'll take the path or transit.
You have to be patient, but you have to be an aggressive driver on top.
Yeah.
You need both. I know it doesn't make sense, but it does when if you drove in New York. You see what I'm talking about if you ever drove in New York. And time's enough for that.
Hey, I live in Jersey. Case closed. The left lane, you do not go the speed limit in the left lane. If you want to do the speed limit, you do the speed limit in the right lane.
Bro, you fucking guys like don't even wear seatbelts all the fucking time.
Listen, I'm guessing you must have had a traumatic experience with a jug handle, right? I bet you did.
My cousin never wears seatbelt.
It's a reference. Okay, cool, no problem.
He never wears a seatbelt. He's zooming in out of traffic. He was like most aggressive driver I ever seen, but the worst driver at the same time. And this is why his cars are always fucked up too.
Honestly, living here in Jersey for as long as I have, you gotta have more than just patience,
bro.
Driving this
You guys
state.
have the highest car insurance, not car insurance, yeah, car insurance
Yeah.
in the country.
Yeah,
There's a reason behind that.
Yeah,
I have seen the worst accidents in New Jersey, not in New York, in New Jersey. I was literally parked, smoking a cigarette, waiting for my cousin, and all of a sudden I hear the car flew the stop sign, T-boned them, and the car was in the air in literally 360.
damn.
Only 5 feet away from my car.
Where was this?
We're using my car that day.
Where in Jersey was this?
I think it was Newark.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Newark or in the Oranges.
Oh, I grew up in the Oranges, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So yeah, but with this Tesla stuff, I think if you, as much as I'm not a huge fan of AI.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Tesla cars will help a lot of accidents. That definitely drug driving.
That's the good thing. That's the one good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I see your point, and I do see your point in that, because I think it will help in those areas. And I remember Braxton posted something about GPS in the chat. I'm trying to remember. I'm going back.
Yeah, he said GPS was horrible, but it was invented by a black woman.
Yeah, I get what GPS is. Yeah, GPS is better now than ever before. And the funny thing, most people didn't realize about GPS, that was actually a tactical tool used by the military.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, I know you do. A lot of people didn't know that. Global positioning
Was that handheld, actually? I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It was a way to look. It was a way to make sure smart bombs landed when they needed to land it.
Here's a comment right here.
You're right, Braxton. And a lot of people didn't realize GPS was always set up to make it easier for the military, where they had to drop smart bombs.
It started with the Navy, if I remember correctly, because they were, doing their missiles and all that stuff. And you're right, there was a GPS to make sure we're blowing up the right fuckers, not the wrong fuckers.
Yep.
And then it became smaller and smaller to the point it was a handheld.
Yeah.
So troops like yourself, boots on the ground, know where the fuck they're going.
Yeah. But even though we do have access to at the time we did have access to GPS, we still did it the old-fashioned way with these 3 items: a protractor, a compass, and a map.
And they still teach you the old school way, my understanding. They still want you to know that.
Yeah.
But it was a program. I don't know if you remember this, the Future Soldier program they were coming out with.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like a little backpack between your vest and a visor over your eye, and you can communicate with other soldiers on the live tactical stuff.
Right.
I believe the program got scrapped. I'm not mistaken.
It did.
Why did it?
Because a lot of the stuff was too heavy. It was too cumbersome. It was heavy. And basically, I think Uncle Sam was tired of pouring $5 billion down this rabbit hole that led to nowhere.
One part of the program I think it was cool as shit, and it's a very futuristic part is they had cameras on their rifles. So if they had to see why was a KIA or a not KIA, I'm sorry, EKIA, enemy killed in action.
Yeah.
They want to know why was that reason why. So you can rewind that. And the thing with the visor, you can turn the camera on so you don't have to point your head out. You just point your rifle out and you can just shoot it like that. Right. And they have tools like that now, obviously.
Right.
But at the time, that was the most advanced tool they had.
And that's what it was. It made it easier because like, for example, the technique you learn when you're inside of a building, when you're clearing a room or clearing a building, or you move it through a building, is you have to understand the importance of line of sight. Now, if you're on a wall, you and your team are on a wall, And CQ can vouch for this. When people make turns, you don't just turn like this. You have to round your turn. That way you have a better line of sight. So if you're going in this direction and you want to go this way, you don't just go this way.
I always call that the cut turner, because you're going and you cut right into it almost.
Yeah.
Because you want to see. And they do this blind shot too, going around a rifle and just start shooting blind. The point of the camera was you're not shooting blind. You can at least see around the corner now.
That was the one
exposing yourself.
One of the concept designs also was not just putting the camera on the rifle and you'll be able to see it and you could bring the rifle around the corner. One of the concepts that they also come with was basically taking a weapon and folding it at a 90-degree angle.
It's still actually using to this day, actually.
I think what it is kind of like an adapter. You put the rifle or the weapon in the adapter.
It wasn't a rifle, actually. I'm going to correct you that. It was more a handgun.
It was okay. Well, I remember seeing other versions of it too. I remember seeing other concepts of it.
Probably is a rifle out now these days. I'm not denying that. But that was one of the AI systems, was saying, okay, we need to see what we're shooting before we shoot at it without exposing our men and women out there.
Right.
And I agree with it. I'm not disagreeing.
Say again?
And I agree with it. Like even our drones now, they have mini drones they carry with them, and they chuck them in the air and they see everything. And most of the guys carry tablets. And again, what is all that driven with? AI. They have drones, little robots with what on them? And
cameras.
No?
Cameras. They got cameras.
The other word I was looking for is a rifle. And some of them have little cannons too, mini cannons. So nobody's exposed, like bomb squads. What do they use to defuse a bomb now?
They use those nice little robots.
Yep. No more going in there with a juggernaut suit so you don't get blown up.
Right.
You're far away from the damage.
Yeah. And ironically, the thing most people don't realize is the idea for the mini drones. I think they got that idea from another movie.
What movie?
Twister.
Oh shit! Those little probes.
Remember when Helen Hunt and Bill Pullman, rest in peace. What was the name of her program?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Going into a Twister. We're off to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And that's basically what it was. She had all these little probes and everything else to literally scan a tornado. And if you ever seen the updated version of the movie,
I haven't yet.
Great movie. Same concept. Little probes scanning a tornado. And it made it easier for the National Weather Service to not only study them, but it also gave them the ability and how to make sure people are safe, how they can figure them out sooner, how to get people evacuated a lot sooner to eliminate the casualty rate as much as possible. Even though there might be still some damage, but you reduce the casualty rate to very little to zero people. That was the idea of the technology in the movie. It was to make it easier for meteorologists to see not only how dangerous a storm could be before it touches ground, but it was also to how to see a storm starting to develop. In other words, you can catch it before it becomes.
And that is a good technology to have. I'm not denying that. Like another good technology are those Global Hawks, the droids, because you can send a mission out there for hours on end. They don't need breaks.
Nope. And that was the beginning, and that's what helped lay the foundation for the UAV program that's used in the military.
And if you ever seen the movie Stealth, that's a good movie. But they had two experimental aircraft carriers, Not aircraft, jet planes.
Aircraft.
Thank you. They had whatever, I don't know what the model name was. You know, the 3 pilots were fine, and it was very futuristic, very stealthily. Nothing. Then you had the AI version of it, and I remember him just saying like they're watching it take off. Like this is the day we're waiting for, taking our men and women out of danger. But that AI got struck by lightning, and it went rogue on them.
Yep.
And that's the scary part. Are you a Call of Duty fan?
Yes.
You ever played Black Ops 2?
It's been a while. It's been a while, but
if you remember in the trailer and in the game, Wood says, you know, we design all this technology. I'm not quoting it, but what happens if the enemy steals the keys to your technology?
Exactly.
And that is the issue people are having, I think, even to this day.
Yeah.
How many breaches do you think happen behind the scenes that we don't know about?
I can imagine a significant amount. I think one person that could definitely let us, he won't give us the exact number, but he's not surprised if it did happen. And is Mandrell. He would have an understanding of it. He would have a better understanding of certain things that goes on. And I think that's the thing people don't realize. How many times you've had security breaches that may have taken place, and most people never knew that it happened.
Bingo.
And that's why this technology, and that's why certain technologies, it's real, like it's an arms race. Who's going to be the first to have this technology? Who's going to be the first to use it? Who's going to be the first to be on top of it?
Y-22 is the best example because it was Y-22 and Y-23, the most stealthy vehicle we ever made, most stealthy plane, jet plane we ever made. And the problem with that aircraft is it's so expensive to maintain it. And that's why they're already talking about retiring it at this point, and they're bringing something else. They have a couple of models out there, the X series and some other ones out there.
Yeah.
And the only 2 other countries that competed us in the stealth race was Russia and China. Nobody else has nothing else. Again, no other country or people say Iran. Iran has nothing near to that technology.
Nah.
Those are only 2 other countries.
Iran, no. North Korea, no.
Yeah. Russia and China is only 2 other countries that have the stealth technology as we do. But the Y-22 is a 1-person plane versus theirs. It might be 2 or whatever, but it's more bulkier than ours. So it can cut corners a lot faster and it'll be more removable. When they say by the time it's behind you and your tone goes, you're locked on, you're too late already. The missile's fired and you're gone. It's flash 1. You're down.
Yeah. So as much as you and I tell people, as much as you can say AI is the future, you still need that person to turn that switch on.
You see, one technology I felt it was great for fighter pilots when they went from their sights from here to their for the visors. You remember when they started that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. People didn't realize when you looked inside the cockpit of an aircraft, especially say again?
It's very tight.
Yeah, it's very tight. Before, what people didn't realize, you saw this little screen in front. That was all their information right there. Like they had still all their dials and everything was right here. But if they want their sights and everything else, it was on this little screen right there.
It was smaller. It was like like that big, and you had to get that target right
there.
On that. The whole plane had to move with you. So when you moved your head, you're taking all your eyes off that thing. And when that technology came on, and that's why I liked it so much, and I'm a fan of it. Is now everything's on your visors, even your gas gauge or brake, your air, or whatever gauge. All of them are on a flip down display.
Right.
Because you have 2 displays. You have 2 you have the sun and the actual display.
Right.
So when you're turning your head, it's like, what's behind you, and you're going like, oh shit, he's right behind me.
But ironically, what people didn't realize, if you saw Top Gun Maverick, they had 2 variations of the aircraft that they were using. One was solo, and one had 2 people. The one with 2 people, you had the pilot, and you had the guy in the rear. a WSO, weapons system operator, or weapons system off. It's I think weapons system operator. Now, back in the day, the WSO was known as a RIO, rear instrument operator.
Yeah, it was in Top Gun 1. Goose was that.
Goose was a RIO.
Now, let me ask you a question. The rear, does he need to know how to fly a plane too?
To be honest, I'm not really sure, but I wouldn't be surprised because I think a good number of RIOs are also pilots, and they have to have flight status and wings in order to sit in the back of that car, be a backseater. But I think they do have to go to. I think they do go to flight school as well. If my
I know some planes in overseas, not American planes, that if I remember correctly, it goes two different ways. The rear was the pilot actually. They did a reverse. And some overseas jet planes, fire planes, whatever, is they had both instruments on both sides. So if something happens to the front pilot, like he gets shot or something happens or whatever, right?
The person in the back can still control the aircraft.
Bingo.
Ironically, for a lot of the helicopters in the Army, for the Apache, the pilot sits in the back. The gunner sits in the front.
Yeah, and their choppers are one great example.
Yeah, and now the challenge, and the real challenge about a lot of the Apaches, the helmets are set up. You have two different eyepieces. You have your monocle over your one eye, and you have something, and you're looking at a screen at your left with your left eye. So most pilots are right eye dominant, and what it is that you're learning to aim. You're looking to control the aircraft and aim at the same time. And the reason why you have two different items in two different locations, it builds the optical illusion where they take both separate items to trick your brain to look at two separate items and look at it as one. One of the things that I remember when I was in the Army is we had these night monocles. And it went over your non-shooting eye. Now, the majority of people shoot right-handed. I shoot left-handed, even though I'm righty. So the monocle will go over my right eye. And I had a scope on my rifle, and I'll look through that for my left eye. The scope was for distance. The monocle was for wind speed and direction. So when I would look through both with both eyes open, it would blur both images as one image.
That's pretty cool.
Say again?
That's pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah. It's not
that. I'm a military thug person. Like I love stuff like that.
And the thing is, it's not that easy to use in the beginning. It takes a significant amount of time and practice.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the thing is, you're so focused on your eye on one area and the other eye in the other area, you're too busy trying to look at either one, not realizing all you gotta do is just relax. Open your eyes.
It's funny. This brings me to my next point of the military. It's AI, snipers. Remember back in the day was throwing the grass. They had a little fan. That's how you knew your wind, your dropish, and all that stuff. Now, I think they still learn that. I'm not mistaken, just in case, right?
They still do all the old-fashioned way, but it's a two-man group. You have a shooter and a spotter.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I totally agree. There's always two, and the spotters also protects the sniper. Because if somebody comes here bushes, you have your rifle ready to go.
Exactly.
But now everything is through this AI scope. It tells you everything, and obviously playing a little Call of Duty gives you an idea. Obviously, not a real life thing, but these games kind of give you the insight of what's going on in real life.
Yeah, wind speed, elevation, and these are the things people don't take into consideration. Wind speed. Elevation, distance, those things all play a factor. People think you just aim and shoot. No, you don't.
No.
Because here's the thing that people don't realize, and I learned all this.
Community too.
Yeah, and a lot of this people don't realize. And I first learned this when I first went in. When you pull that trigger and that round comes out, people think it goes straight.
No, it drops.
It spins.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay, because it does have a lot of dropish.
Yeah, it spins and it goes up. And then over time, it drops. So you have to take all that into consideration. Not only how far you are, but where's the wind coming from? Is it coming towards you, or is it coming from behind you?
If you have wind that day.
Exactly. And you have to take all those into consideration, because sometimes you're thinking, okay, I got to go straight at the target. But if you have crosswind, you got to take that into consideration. Meaning, do I aim a little to the left, or do I aim a little to the right and let the
I'll
wind
give you another
carry
factor
around?
here. When the humidity is high, you're going to have a drop of your bullet.
Yeah.
A lot. So if you're going for, let's say, a chest shot, argument sakes, right? You technically want to aim to the head or even above the head.
Yeah.
You see, it depends how far is it. Let's say it's like 50 acres or whatever.
Right.
You have to consider that. That's why it depends on the round too, how far the distance of the target is.
Yeah.
Further out, bigger the bullet you're going to need because it's longer
Right.
distance. That's
And
why a lot of them use a 50K.
Yeah, because a 50 cal round, people don't realize when that bad boy comes out, that thing spins, and it's spinning very fast. And if you ever seen if you ever seen a 50 cal round, it's pretty long.
There's these two YouTubers I used to watch. One has literally hanged up his boots and he's walked away from YouTube because he started his own family and or whatever. Demolition Ranch, and he got a lot of bad feedback because unfortunately, when they attacked our president, don't care if you don't like him or not, that's a different story. He's still the president. Attacked our president. He was wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt, and he kind of like got a lot of heat for that. But he used to do like crazy stunts with his weapons, not stunts like he's like jumping in and shooting. Like he go, okay, I want to shoot this and see what happens, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he did pretty cool stuff. But the one he Ranch is called. I also follow. He shoots some crazy stuff, but he goes from a 22 all the way to the 50 cal, and you see the difference in the targets he shoots. Like kinetic sand. That didn't go through it. The 50 cal, it stopped it.
Yeah,
I was surprised. Think about it. It's sand.
Yeah. But people don't realize, but here's the thing people don't realize when it comes to things like sand and dirt, it's not one item. It's multiple items literally forming one another on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it is. That's why if you ever been to a shooting range, especially outdoors, they all have these heavy dirt berms behind it. Because once you fire around and it goes into that berm, it's not coming out. And people don't realize that. That's why they have those. That's why they say it's always hard to shoot into the dirt. Like
water is another one.
Yeah, also another one. Like I remember when I was doing security after September 11th. Every time we finished our shift, we had to turn in our weapons. We had to make sure we emptied the magazine, and we had to fire, and we had to shoot it into basically a barrel full of sand. And what happens is when we pull the trigger, we made sure that the round was not chambered, and it's basically kind of like making sure that no one chambered a round into the rifle and make sure it's clear when we turn it in. People don't realize that. And I remember one time when we got off the shift, I was like one of the first group of guys. Took my magazine out, took it off safe, pulled the trigger, nothing. Never chambered around. Turned in my rifle, turned in my magazines. Everyone else in my group, I think we had maybe like 3 guys left in our group. The last person accidentally didn't realize they chambered the round.
Oh shit, that's bad.
And next, all of a sudden, we're inside, and then we hear this pop. We hear this loud pop and a muff sound at the same time. And everyone's like, what the heck? Like, everyone's like, what the hell happened? And I'm sitting there like, fucking accidental discharge. Everyone looked at me like, what? somebody chambered a fucking round in their rifle. And next year, all of a sudden, our shift leader comes in pissed the fuck off with the guy's rifle in his hand, holding his magazines. He says, sit there, shut the fuck up, and don't touch anything. Turn, still onto the rifle. Put two of the magazines to the armor. Still held the one magazine where that round came out of. Now I gotta do some fucking paperwork because of an accidental discharge. And they all looked at me like, you knew. This is the first time I heard this shit.
You know, if people have not been around firearms long enough, and you have, and I have, when you're firing a paper target versus a mount versus a clay, it sounds different.
Yeah.
Because you hear things like in the movie, bang, 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 bang. No. When you're hitting, let's say, a cow, for example, the sound's barely any sound there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pop. A small pop. And it's nothing.
Right.
That's why you remember the old gag. Remember back in the day, people used to use pillows to compress the sound.
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
Yeah,
you can really compress it. I don't recommend it doing to anybody.
Or potato.
Or a bottle.
Mm-hmm. That's why suppressors are illegal. That's why it's illegal to own a suppressor.
You can some states you can own them, but you have to do a paperwork with the FDA and all that stuff.
Yeah,
PA is not one of them, obviously.
Jersey's not one either.
I'm not surprised. Think of how hard to get a firearm in Jersey, bro.
Oh, don't remind me. Do not remind me. Because one of the problems I remember having one of the problems we also had when we were doing security, they had to put selector locks on our rifles because New Jersey doesn't allow assault weapons. Now, mind you, yeah.
You couldn't. So you had a lock on it?
We had a selector lock on our rifles. Now, mind you, there's two, like you take it off safe, there's two options. You click it the first time, it's on semi. So you're only firing one single shot. The second one is called burst. And what happens is the newer rifles, you fire 3-round bursts. Because back then in Vietnam, it was on auto. Guys used to spending rounds like for the hell of it and didn't know how many times they were shooting. When they updated the rifle, the A2 to the A2, later on to the A4, and then the M4, and so on and so forth, they had it set on burst to where you fired 3 rounds at a time for a better control rate of fire. So I know for a fact, if I squeeze my trigger 10 times, I'm going to go through a standard magazine.
See, people don't understand with firearms, and I want to get to the next, AI with firearms next. That's where I want to get into this topic. Is when you're shooting full auto, you're going in the air. It's going to push you up. I don't care how strong you are.
Mm-hmm.
Now they had a couple of smart ideas, and I like a couple of them. If you have kids around,
right?
They had this safety thing. You put it around on top of your gun. You rack it, and it comes off. But it was like a bracelet you had to have. It kind of identity, and that's AI system, obviously.
Smart
I liked it because it's when you pulled it. No, like say your bracelet does not match my code to that, or you're not. You have to be literally right on top of it, pretty much, to make it work. And when you pull it, the thing comes right off, unlocks the firearm, and you're ready to go engage. I actually didn't because if you have kids, or kids are curious. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And teenagers are even worse.
Oh yes.
So I have kids. You have kids. Mine are teenagers right now. Don't remind me, please. Yours are teenagers too, right?
I got 2 adults, 1 preteen, and then 1 toddler and 1 elementary age.
So they're going to be curious. I don't care what kind of safe you have, whatever. They're going to get into something somehow.
Yeah.
So if you can't keep it locked away at all times. That's the best bet. and they have other boxes that have codes,
Right.
AI codes. Obviously, you would take your wrist, your phone, and it opens up.
Right.
I think they're great technology for that. I'll be honest with you. Another one's a fingerprint on your gun.
Yeah.
Then that's again an AI stuff.
Yeah.
AI is good and bad at the same time.
Ironically, New Jersey, I don't think a lot of other states have it, but New Jersey actually is, I think, so far the only state, I got to look it up, is the only state so far that has a law on the books in reference to smart gun technology.
Really?
Yeah. And the thing is, right now, they're still trying to figure out, there's still some companies trying to perfect it. Like some are saying you got to wear like a bracelet or a watch. Other ones, like you said, fingerprints and everything. Basically, I think the best way you're going to come up with that idea is you take what you learn from Bluetooth technology and apply it to a firearm.
That won't be bad. I think that the battery is an issue with that.
That means you have to charge it.
And this reminds me of Judge Dredd. Imagine anybody touching his firearm, or his hands will be toast.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I'm a personal believer gun laws don't work. I don't care how many restrictions you put on there, what you do. More restrictions, more power you give to the bad guys, I feel.
Honestly, the problem is, it took me going into the Army to change my whole entire thought process when it came to firearms. When I was younger. And I think we talked about it in the gray area too at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? I think you and Paul were talking about it, and I came on, I spoke about firearms, and I said it then too. My whole entire mindset changed when it came to firearms when I first joined the Army.
Remind me, how was it your mindset before and after? Refresh my memory.
Before I joined the military, I was all about they need to get rid of guns, they need more laws, they need to do this, and this.
I was the opposite always.
Yeah. Then I joined the Army, and I learned to shoot, and a lot of other things I learned to shoot, and I liked it, and I enjoyed it, and I said, making more laws is not going to solve the problem. You got to come up with a universal system, or you got to come up with a universal system across the board that every state, commonwealth, and territory can agree to.
I agree.
And I remember saying this to people. I remember one time I was having a debate with some people about this. I said this: if you want states like Virginia, Florida, and Texas to get a little bit tougher, that also means states like New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut are going to have to get a little bit lenient.
Maryland's another one. It's a gun-free state.
And when I told that to people, they were like, what do you mean? The problem is this. The only thing that all the states in the union agree upon is this when it comes to firearms. You have to be at least 18, and you can't have a felony. That's the only thing they agree upon. That's universal. Other than that, everyone has their own set of laws. I think now it's 21.
21 in PA to own a sidearm,
mm-hmm.
and 18 for if you're a hunter.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So here's my issue with what you're saying to that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I have spoken to multiple sheriffs about this, old school sheriffs. All right.
Right.
And you need a universal. Like if you have a CCW, for people who don't know what CCW is considered carry weapon. Permit.
Yeah.
If you have a CCW in PA, you should be able to carry any state you want because it's legal.
Right.
But back in the 70s, when everybody could just go into any shop and buy a firearm, we had less crime. So, and the second thing, and I'll bring our next guest in a minute after that. The problem I have with the felony thing, some people are felons and they didn't do nothing wrong. How many people got committed a crime that didn't do nothing wrong? Or it was something like, it wasn't like nothing bad. It was like something like stupid, like when they were kids, or it was
Possession of marijuana.
exactly. So let's get to this next. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Mr. President, how was Air Force One today?
That's okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
You coming in good?
Okay,
That's
cool.
clear.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
First
No,
of
it's
all,
just
how was your
been
trip? Let's ask that question
no,
first.
smooth. I mean, certainly, on time with the airline and everything, smooth getting out the. I was out of the airport in like 10 minutes. Um, but it's just like the day it just got started and it's kind of
That's
just like
top.
winding down. So, yeah, yeah. So, but definitely want to try to jump on before the show ended. So, but nah, it's interesting. Just the topic overall, and like I said, I'm working in a warehouse where automation and whatnot is kind of at the forefront of what we're doing. I mean, not to a huge degree, at least not yet, but we'll see how scalable they can make it in the future. But certainly getting AI or this automation to you know cooperate with human interaction, because there's still a lot of that still needs to be done also. So how do you get the humans and the robots to kind of work together? That's certainly part of the effort here as well. So it's like I said, it's interesting. You're kind of seeing a lot of it, kind of what the future's looking like and whatnot. But it's not, like I said, it's here. What can I tell you? It's definitely, I don't think it's turning around anytime soon.
So, your personal opinion with this AI stuff. What is your personal opinion about this? Is it a step forward, good wise, or you think it's a bad?
Wow. It's kind of hard to know. Hey, what's up, Braxton? Um, the good question, it's hard to answer because, again, a lot of it is about what you value. So, obviously, to do, let's say, calculations and computations, right, in order to do those faster, or to come up with ideas, or to look at comparative data, which is always difficult to do, and come to certain conclusions. I think there's some good in that, especially when you're talking about trying to remove human errors, which are certainly with human beings you are going to get from time to time. I think there's a value in that, but I think from an economic standpoint, and also really the purpose of a human being. I think those are some ethical questions. I guess what I'm trying to say, if you want to talk about again the practical, the scientific, the efficiency, that's always good, I think. And I think we've been doing that since, I don't know, fire is discovered. You know what I'm saying? We've always been automating something, building weapons to either hunt for ourselves or to protect ourselves. There's always been this like one of my favorite movies is 2001: A Space Odyssey, and that opening scene, if you remember from the movie, it's like they when the primates, whatever you want to classify them as, they certainly weren't Homo sapiens yet. But when the guy he discovered that using a bone as a weapon certainly was an advance in technology that allowed them to become meat eaters. And when they became meat eaters, their brains got bigger. I mean, human beings, and so for a lot of people, notes this to the vegetarians or whatnot, but it was our capacity to eat meat which helped our brains to get bigger, and we got smart as a result of it. And the famous scene in the movies when he throws the bone up in the air, and it's in the air, and you see it, and then you turn the scene around, and it's an observation deck. It's like a lab in space. You know what I mean? So it's like the leap forward.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that aspect that's always been a part of us. Going into space or whatever. Now again, I'm not going to also get into the religious parts of it and whatnot, whether you believe in evolution, all that kind of stuff. But the idea is that humanity has always been pushing things forward, and I think that's but there's even a spiritual dimension to that, to do those things. So you have that, but then again, the cost, because for every advance, there's always been a cost, and what that cost is for humanity, I think is getting to a point where we're asking ourselves some questions about, is this going to be good overall? Especially with the exploding population of late. I mean, 30 years ago, I think there was like maybe 5, 6 billion people.
Mhm.
And so just at this rate, the way humanity is growing and the needs of that humanity is growing also. Is humanity growing at a rate that technology and whatnot cannot handle? And so you're going to have all these people who don't have income, don't have jobs and whatnot. And what do you do with that in a society unless society makes some course corrections to account for that? Because again, part of being human is having purpose in life. So what are you going to do with these people who are getting displaced left, right, and center? What about them? And then what about their problems? We also have the problem of, again, aging populations. They say you have to have at least 2 kids to keep the population advancing. So if you want to talk about truly the future, if people feel they don't have jobs, they don't have income, how they're going to get married, how they're going to have families, what is going to be the long term? So I think there's, from a corporate perspective, there's this idea of, oh yeah, efficiency and making money, and you don't have to pay pensions, and you don't have to pay, certain things that humans need and require for the sake of the dollar. But that has a limit to it. That has a point it's going to have a breaking point. And what happens when that breaking point happens? And you're seeing it all over the place through just, I went to a kiosk to order my McDonald's breakfast this morning. I went to, like I said, the automation in the, certainly in the factories, it's like, when is this going to end? When you're going to have that big boom in, they're talking about thousands of jobs being replaced to millions, if not tens of millions of jobs going to be replaced. What are you going to do with these people? And so there have been proposals. They talk about UBI, Universal Basic Income. Yeah, if you want the robots and the automation and the AI to do these things where you don't need people, there should be a tax on that. There should be something paid back to the people for the mass displacement that this is causing, so that people at least have a floor. And people don't want to talk about communism or socialism or whatever, or having some social safety nets or whatever. But I think, capitalism this is really going to test the balance of capitalism, and whether or not things are going to hit rock bottom. And capitalism is going to be pushed to its limits to say, hey, we need to do something here. Because again, this whole survival of the fittest and smart and all that, it has limits. So yeah, so it's kind of two competing things. There's a cost to whatever we're doing. If this increases, humans are going to suffer. What are you going to do with that? Now, again, there are things that can be done, but will capitalism listen? And right now, I don't see, especially with these tech companies and whatnot, what they're pushing, I don't think they're listening. And I think the people who are always talking it up, those are the ones that, yeah, you don't have to worry about 9 to 5. You already got your millions already.
Exactly.
What about everybody else?
I think what it is, Paul, it's not that they're not listening. They don't care. That's the major factor.
I
They
think
don't
you're right in
care.
time. What Paul is saying, he has a good point. If it's like a tax on it or some kind of safety net for us as employees. Right now, my job is not in risk, but at some point it will be in risk. If they put a position in, okay, if this jobs get eliminated, these people are still taken care of. They have some kind of income still.
Right.
So I think that's a great idea. But are these politicians going to go that route, or they're going to go who pays them more in their pockets?
Exactly. And that's the reason why a lot of these millionaires and billionaires don't care. It's not that they're not listening. They don't care. Because they see it as, hey, I got mine, you ain't got it, oh well. And of course, and we don't like talking politics here, but when you look at the current person that's in charge, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to make sure that the people that are rich are going to get richer. He's going to take care of them. Why? Because he has a 2 common income just like them. 2 common folks take care of each other. 3 common folks take care of each other.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're getting close to the end of the show. Let's get our final thoughts in. Anton, you want to go first, and I'll have you go next, Paul. Okay.
Oh, definitely. Thanks. I look at this, like I said before, while AI has done a lot of good, it is coming with a price. And like I said in the beginning, if you wanted to work in a particular industry, to get your foot in the door, you would do entry level work. If you wanted to get into the business world, you would find a way to be an intern or you worked in the mailroom. If you wanted to get into another field, like oh god, like say if you wanted to work for a newspaper, you became a copy boy. Now those positions are being eliminated due to AI. So now the positions that got your foot in the door are being eliminated due to AI. If you wanted to work for a major retailer, you worked at a call center. There aren't call centers anymore. A lot of stuff's being handled by AI. AI is taking away entry level positions. And when you look at particular movies that we've all seen where someone got into a program or got into this line of work because they were able to get an entry level position and then work their way up to the top, that's not happening anymore. Who handles mail? Let's think about that. Who has a landline? A significant number of these retailers that we used to shop at, a lot of them no longer exist. Or even trying to be a researcher, being a researcher, you got AI. All the positions that help you get your foot in the door, whether it was in business, whether it was marketing, whether it was education, all those positions are gone. All replaced due to AI. And while we look at, well, capitalism is the way, capitalism is a form of business. It's a way to operate a business. It's not a form of government. And I think we've gotten that confused. And for a good number of us who grew up during the time of the Cold War, what's the one thing we've always been fed? Socialism's bad, capitalism's good. And now we're seeing how capitalism is hurting us, and socialism could probably save us. But until we are willing to say that what we learned is wrong and try something different, AI is going to be here to stay for the foreseeable future. It's a genie you can't put in that bottle. It's a bell you can't unring. And that's all I got to say. Those are words we're thinking about.
Yeah, great points as always, Anton. And that's really where I think people are going to start to feel it when the type of people who start get affected. Then that's when it starts to matter. It's interesting, even when we talk about the drug issue in this country, right? For a long time, drug abuse, drug addiction used to be a minority problem or an impoverished person's problem until a few years ago when you started seeing how it was becoming essentially a white person's problem, right? Prior to then, there was jail, there was lifelong sentences for drugs and whatnot. Now that certain populations are being impacted, now you're seeing even with conservative politicians, now they're talking about treatment. That these aren't criminals; these are people with an illness and addiction. Now let's change our drug policies in order to you know address the situation because more and more people are that look like you are being impacted by it. But now with AI, what's happening is it used to be the manual labor, the blunt jobs or whatever. I mean, obviously the bulldozer at one point replaced the need to have dozens, if not hundreds, of people do the same job. But now smart people are starting to get impacted by this, right? People who you spent years getting advanced degrees and experience and knowledge, those people, the high tech jobs, the high paying jobs, are starting to get replaced. What's going to happen then? And those are the people who oftentimes have income. Those are the medical schools, the technical institutions, the people who have big money in those things are those people. When those people start feeling the bite, maybe that can certainly turn some of the certainly some of the thought process to say, hey, either we need to put caps on, we need to put caps on this, or we need to slow this thing down, or limit the amount of AI that we use in a way that's then not harmful to humanity. And because if not, then all of those sci-fi movies that deal with automation, whether it be war games or the Terminator, or even y'all didn't talk about this, but even when it comes to relationships, human relationships, there have been movies that came out where you got people who literally fall in love with AI because the AI kind of knows, learns you, and finds out exactly what you say the nicest things, right? So you got so who knows the future of dating? You put an AI into a doll or something, and God knows what's going to happen. And when it comes to that sort of thing, so it's I'll say this, and I'll end. First of all, shout out to Sam Neill, great actor, and the whole Jurassic Park series, and then you also had, Goldblum, who was in that movie as well. He asked a question to John Hammond. You guys thought all the time that you could do something. You never thought about whether you should do something. And so it's interesting, that question that was asked over 30 some years ago in Jurassic Park. Again, we're asking more of these questions. So now imagine, can we do these things? Should we be doing these things? And if we do it, can we do it in a way that's responsible, that protects humanity, not just now, but in the future? Will humanity endure if we don't allow people to, again, have purpose, meaning income, families, a reason for living, a reason to apply ourselves in ways that allows humanity to prosper? I think those questions still need to be asked. And I think, showing to Anton's point earlier, people aren't listening, or they don't want to, because all they see is dollar signs. All they see is, or like it can almost be even altruistic. I mean, you can say, wow, this is like humanity must go here. We like, why do we go to the moon? Why do we go climb the highest mountain? Because it's there, right? And that's obviously got us to the point we're on now. But again, where does it end? So yeah, I mean, definitely these conversations are going to continue, and hopefully that our political leaders, or those with care for humanity in the future, they'll start to listen. But keep your fingers crossed on that one. So, but again, thanks for having me on. Jumping on last minute, but definitely a very thoughtful topic.
All right, thanks, Anton and Paul, for coming up. Thanks for actually giving me some info. I was really looking forward to your professional view on this, Paul, because I know you have some experience in this, like you said. AI, fan or hate it, it's something we have to embrace, unfortunately. Hopefully, we can get it to the point that we are in a balance, good and bad together. And that is a tricky part, how to balance it. Hopefully, these politicians, and how much I hate talking about politics, can find the balance for us, because they're not going to hurt. The CEOs, COOs, the VPs, they're not going to hurt. We are going to hurt. And I don't want to see anybody suffer for a technology that we actually do need. But let's do a quick schedule update. What do you guys think? So tomorrow, we're going to have a mano versus a mano. John Wick versus James Bond. Who is the ultimate action icon? I'm still putting my money on John Wick, guys. And we are having a great year this week. I got to speak to you about that, Paul, if you have a few minutes after the show, like literally 2 minutes. And on Monday hours, we have Sparta talk with the wrestling guys. Me and this knucklehead baby oil brute. That's what I'm calling you, baby oil brute from now on. I'm gonna get you a little speedo with that.
I don't do speedos.
And for next week, I gotta change your show, by the way, Paul. Tomorrow's show, third show, is canceled because of Paul's traveling.
Right. It'll be
rescheduled.
next week we'll have that show.
And for next Tuesday, man, I have a tongue twister now. Is our college degree still worth it? Education versus experience. And I think we had this similar conversation on Gray, didn't we? One time.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we need to take a different approach this time. So we're going to definitely have that conversation. Except that, guys, this was the Sparta HQ Network. I am the Spartan. He is my man, Bailey Oil Brute, the president. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, have a good one. Be safe, everybody.